Hello friends, welcome back to our course Mechanics of Solid. This is lecture number 10 and today we will discuss thermal stress and thermal strain. Okay. So thermal stress are the stress induced in a body due to change in temperature. If any stress is produced in a body due to change in temperature, that will be known as thermal stress because that came from due to thermal. Okay, thermal stress are set up in a body when temperature of body is rise or lowered. The body not allowed to expand or contract freely. Means a body not allowed to freely expand or contract. That time if temperature is increasing, if temperature of body increasing, stress will be generated on the body, increase or decrease anything. But if body is allowed to expand or contract freely, no stresses will be set up in the body. Means if body is free to expand, stress will be not produced in the body because it will be automatic expand. So why stress will be generated on the body? Consider the body which is heated to a certain temperature. Let's suppose L is length of body, T rise in temperature, E Young's modulus, alpha is coefficient of linear expansion, del or dl is extension of rod due to rise of temperature. Every material expand when temperature rise or contracts. We know that if temperature will be increased, most of the material temperature increasing means length will be also increased. If temperature will be decreased, length will be also decreased. In generally we know that. Okay. So it is established experimentally that change in length del is directly proportional to the length of member L. Okay, L is length of member and del change length is directly proportional to the length and also change in temperature. So we can write like that: expansion del is directly proportional to T into L. If you remove this proportionality, we should write one constant, that is alpha, also known as coefficient of linear expansion. Let's suppose a body AB. Okay, AB is a body and original length is AB and BB dash represents the increase in length due to temperature rise. If we increase the temperature, body expanded up to BB dash. Now suppose that an external compressive load P is applied at B dash. If you apply one compressive load at B dash, that the rod is decreased its length from AB dash to AB. This will be AB dash to AB. AB dash equal to alpha plus alpha TL. This is the DL is alpha TL. Then we can say compressive strain equal to decrease in length divided by original length. Here original length is AB dash. Okay, but alpha TL is very small. Alpha TL is very small as compared to length. Then we can write as alpha L plus alpha TL equal to L because we are dividing here. Okay, so alpha TL divided by L equal to alpha T. This is strain and many places it is written as ET or ETH like that, epsilon T like that they are writing. Now we know that stress by strain equal to Young's modulus. So stress equal to strain into E Young's modulus here equal to alpha T E sigma. When up to here clear. This is formula for thermal strain and this is formula for thermal stress, and freely expansion is this much. Due to free expansion, del equal to alpha TL, strain equal to alpha T, stress equal to alpha TE. Let's suppose body is, there is some space when supports yield. If supports yield by an amount equal to del, then actual expansion or contraction, you can say expansion due to rise in temperature minus del. This body can go up to this, let's suppose body can go up to this place when we increase the temperature, but this space is actual expansion, because up to here body is free to move. Only stress will be produced due to this change in length. So actual strain equal to actual expansion divided by original length. Only this portion will be work here to here. So total change in length is here to here is alpha TL minus del. Alpha TL is here up to here, alpha TL minus del, we will get this one, divide by original length L, and actual stress equal to actual strain into E. So we can write in this way, this is stress sigma T, this is thermal strain. We got two formula. In this problem you can see, let this is section 1, section 2. If temperature will be increased, length of the body will be increased, but body can freely expand up to here. After that only stress will be induced on the body. Let's solve one example. A steel rail is 12 mm long, this is length given us, is laid at a temperature of 18 degrees centigrade, T1 given us. The maximum temperature expected is, you can write as T2. Estimate the minimum gap between two rails to the left so that temperature stresses do not tail up. Question is asking between two rails how much gap we should provide. Due to that there should not be any stress. In generally we provide some gap between rail in rail. Okay, if you see, we provide some space for free expansion during summer session. Second part asking calculate the temperature stress developed in the rail. Second E, no expansion joint is provided. If no expansion joint is provided, how much stress will be induced? If we provide 1.5 mm gap, how much stress will be produced? We need to find out both. Okay. Third one asking if the stress developed is 20 Newton per mm square, what is the gap provided between rails? Take Young's modulus E equal to this much, alpha equal to this much. Here 10 to power minus 6. Okay. Then let's solve the problem. First of all, write given data, not written here. So first of all write given data L equal to 12 meter, T1 equal to 18 degrees centigrade, T2 equal to 40 degrees centigrade. So del T or simply T you can say. Change in temperature equal to 40 minus 18 equal to 22 degrees centigrade. The free expansion of rail equal to alpha TL. Here this T is change in temperature. Okay, alpha TL, alpha is 12 into 10 to power minus 6 into change in temperature 40 minus 18 into length 12 meter, so convert in mm, 12 into 1000, so we got 3.168 mm free expansion. Okay, question asking no, estimate the minimum gap between two rails to left so that temperature stress do not develop. So this is that gap. Provide a minimum gap of 3.168 mm between the rails so that temperature stress do not develop. Because we already provided that much gap, so if expansion is also there, there should not be any stress will be produced because free expansion. Second part, calculate the temperature stress developed in the rail if no expansion joint is provided. Means if there is no free expansion, so stress will be start from the initial itself. That time we should use formula. That time we should use the formula of strain, thermal strain equal to alpha into T, thermal stress sigma T equal to alpha T E. Calculate the temperature stress developed in the rail. How much stress will be generated? Alpha T. If no expansion joint is provided, free expansion prevented is equal to 3.168. So del equal to 3.168. We know that PLAE equal to del. Simple formula, we know that this one. From here we can find out P by A, that is stress, and stress equal to P by A. From that we can find out simply here. So this side will be, you can write this one as, actually this is del. Okay, so P by A will be how much? P by A equal to how much? Del into E divided by L. This is del value, E value, L. So we got stress equal to 52.8 Newton per mm square. Second part saying if a 1.5 mm gap is provided for free expansion, so in chain length we need to reduce that much amount. If gap of 1.5 mm is provided free expansion, then the length prevented is, chain length prevented is del equal to alpha TL due to free expansion minus A level free expansion. We got 3.168 minus 1.5 equal to 1.668 mm. Now we will use del equal to 1.668 mm to find out stress once again. We know that formula, del equal to chain length equal to PL divided by AE. So stress P by A equal to del into E in divided by L. Second part complete. Third part asking if stress developed is 20 Newton per mm square. Stress value already given us, P by A equal to 20 Newton per mm square. So we need to find out del value. Okay, del equal to this much alpha TL minus del is, so PL divided by A equal to AE equal to 3.168 free expansion minus del, and here P by A equal to given us, stress value given us 20 into length to E equal to this much. From that we can find out del value 1.968 mm. Now we should go for second question. Read this question. A composite bar shown in figure is rigidly fixed at the ends A and B. Determine the reaction developed at ends when temperature is raised by 18 centigrade. Change in temperature given us del T. Some places del T, some places it is written as only T also. Given us 18 degrees centigrade. Area of aluminum given us, area of steel given us, La given us, Ls given us, Ea equal to 70, Es equal to this much, alpha A, alpha S we need to find out, determine the reaction developed at ends. That means we need to find out reaction force. How we can find out? Simply we should first find out thermal stress. For free expansion, there are two body. If there is free expansion, some length will be increased for this, some length will be increased for this. So total free expansion will be how much? For both. This is for aluminum, this is for steel. So we got 0.945 mm total free expansion. If there is no restriction, it can be expanded up to here. Since there is prevented, so change length you can say del equal to 0.459 EA. E is given as kilonewton per mm square, so convert into Newton per mm square. Simply multiply 10,000. Okay. P is support reaction, del equal to change in length in aluminum plus change in length in steel. So P we can say common force ejecting. This problem similar to this. We have already solved similar kind of problem, no? Like this. You need to find out P here. And this is del. So del equal to, put the same value whatever free expansion is here, LA, LS, this is AA, EA, AS, ES. From that we got P value. Clear? Let's read another one question. A bar of brass 20 mm is enclosed in a steel tube of 40 mm external diameter and 20 mm internal diameter. The bar and tubes are initially 1.2 meter long and are rigidly fastened at both ends using 20 mm diameter pins. If the temperature is raised by 60 degrees centigrade, find the stress induced in the bar, tube and pin. Problem is look like this. Okay. Steel tube outer side, brass inside. Diameter is given as for brass this one, for steel 40. Here, to understand this problem, we should see this figure. Let's suppose one side is steel, one side brass, and we are heating, and we assume that brass thermal expansion coefficient is high, so it will expand more as compared to steel. Okay, steel's expansion is up to here and brass expand up to here. If both are free to expand, both are not connected to each other, so they will expand like this. If both are fixed, that time brass will be come back to some is in between like this. So length of brass will be decreased, so compressive force will be act on brass, and length of steel will be increased, so tensile force will be act on the steel. Similar concept we will use in this problem. If both are free, they can freely expand. So in that time, because alpha S is smaller and alpha B means for brass, alpha B is higher, so it will be expand more if there is free expansion, but still will be expand very less as compared to brass because alpha value is less for steel. But in question given us both are fixed, both will move either extension or contraction, both will be do at the same time, so we can say this is final expansion. Okay, let's write first given data. T, that is change in temperature. E is given us, E brass given us, alpha is given us, alpha B given us. Area of steel we need to find out, just like hollow tube, pi by 4 capital diameter square minus small diameter square. From that we can find out area for steel tube. For brass square pi by 4 d square, simply write like that, we can solve. Okay, we got all the data. Since free expansion of brass alpha b TL is more than free expansion of steel alpha s TL, compressive force PB developed in brass and tensile force PS developed in steel to keep final position at CC. Here, to make final position CC, some compressive force will be act on brass and some tensile force will be act on steel. Then only it will become at the final position. So we can say for equilibrium, whatever force will be act on brass, same force will be act on steel. One will be compressive, one will be tensile, only that. So both are equal. So P, from figure it's clear that alpha s plus alpha b, from figure it's clear that del s plus del b equal to alpha b TL minus alpha s TL equal to alpha b minus alpha s TL, because length is same, temperature is same. So we got this one. So we know that change in length del equal to PL divided by AE. Same thing we should write here, PL divided by AS ES, because P and length both are same for both, plus PL divided by AB EB equal to this much, alpha B minus alpha S. This is change in temperature, this is length. From that we can find out P value, because P only unknown, all are known value. From that we got P value. So stress in steel equal to P by AS, area of steel. Stress in brass equal to P by AB. Complete, simple, nothing here. Only first we need to understand the question. The pin resists the force P at two cross section at junction of two bars. Shear stress in pin equal to P divided by 2 into cross section area of pin. Okay. Look here, one pin is here. So here you can say this will be tried to expand this side. This will try to contract this side. This will be expand, this will be contract. So one stress will be induced here, second stress will be induced here. Two different place stress will be induced, shear stress. So shear stress in pin equal to P divided by 2, because load P will be shear with both place, into area of pin. From that we got shear stress in pin. Complete. Let's solve another one problem similar to that. A composite bar is made of steel plate 50 mm wide and 10 mm thick, to which copper plate of 40 mm wide and 5 mm thick connected rigidly at each end as shown in figure. The length of bar at normal temperature is 1 meter. If temperature rises by 80 degrees centigrade, change in temperature given us. The stress in each metal and change in length. Okay, we need to find out stress in each metal and change in length. Given alpha is given us, alpha C given us, ES given us, EC given us. No problem. Question asking there is change in temperature. Area of both we can find out, AS and AC. AS we can find out 50 into 10, AC equal to 40 into 5. From that we got area, alpha S, alpha C both are given, ES, EC both are given. Length is also given us LC equal to LS equal to 1 meter given us, 1 meter given us, and we need to find out stress in each metal and change in length. Here we are not providing any constraint from outside because both are, we assume that both are fixed. So here first thing you should check alpha S is less than alpha C, means copper will, chain length of copper will be higher. So in chain length of copper will be higher, as we can see up to here, this is up to here, okay, chain length of copper, but in chain length of steel will be less. On that condition, because both are fixed each other, so they will try to make same chain length. So one compressive force will be act on copper, and tensile force will be act on the steel, and final position, let's suppose final position is C. Here this is alpha S T L, chain length of steel under free expansion, and this is chain length of copper under free expansion, alpha C T L. Now solve the problem. Now there are two copper plate, one here, one here. So 2PC equal to PS. 2PC equal to PS because 2 copper is here. If del S and del C are chain length of steel and copper plate, so del S plus del C equal to alpha C minus alpha S TL, and we know that del equal to PL divided by AE, del equal to PL divided by AE is already known. Length is same, so we should write same length, PS PC. Okay, here we need to put the value of all these things, AS, ES, AC, EC. In place of PS we can put 2PC like that, and we can find out value of PC. Here we will find out value of PC, and also will find out value of PS. PS is 2PC. Then stress in copper will be PC divided by AC. Simple. Stress in steel will be PS divided by AS. Change length if compound bar is represented by CC in the figure. You can see this one. So chain length will be alpha TL, this much, this one alpha TS plus this del S. Alpha TL, that is due to free expansion, plus due to tensile force del S. From that we got total chain length. Okay, chain length, once again you check this one, chain length equal to, you can find out two way. First, alpha TL, free expansion of the steel, this much, plus this is small value, so you will get this total. Otherwise you can do total chain length of copper minus how much, this one, this is del C and this is del S, like that you can show. Final extension will be either alpha S TL plus del S or alpha C TL minus del C. Thank you.